Hi guys, 2 Labour and 98 Conservative councillors have defected so far to Reform UK. Now the media tend to focus instead on MPs because they are more interesting maybe. But when it comes to MPs, a significant number have defected from the Conservative Party. Now we're talking about ex-MPs. But this week a sitting Conservative also defected. Now Nigel Farage a few years ago had a certain opinion when it came to people defecting from one party to another. Have a listen.
When I was leader of UKIP back in 2013 and 14, I had several Conservative members of Parliament who wanted to defect and sit as UKIP. I said to all of them, the only acceptable way you can do that is to resign your seat and hold a by-election. And 2 of them, Douglas Carswell and Mark Reckless, did exactly that and indeed went on to win the by-elections. For the others, I said, it's no go, it's not right, it is dishonourable. And this really is the dishonourable member for Bury South, Christian Wakeford. It is a complete insult to voters for MPs to have the arrogance to think that it's them they voted for, when the truth is most of us vote for or against the main party leaders. And what makes this even worse is this man actually voted for a private member's bill that said MPs should not cross the floor without holding a by-election. We did contact his office for comment. Answer, there came none. And it amazed me that Boris Johnson, in response, didn't even ask for the man to put himself forward for a by-election. You see, the truth, folks, is they're nearly all, not all, but nearly all, career politicians. You, the voters, are just useful to them once every few years. It's all about them. It is, I think, today, a disgraceful episode.
And Nigel Farage has announced in the last hour the Tory MP Danny Kruger has defected from the Conservatives to Reform UK.
So I presume there will be a by-election. Oh no, there will not be a by-election. There was no request for a by-election from Nigel Farage when it came to Danny Kruger, a sitting Conservative MP. But as I said before, 98 councillors on the Conservative side and 2 Labour councillors defected to Reform, and in those cases there was no request for a by-election. This guy is a charlatan. He doesn't care. He doesn't actually have any principles. He just wants power. And he'll do whatever it takes to get there. And when it came to Labour, and I have been consistent, I said back in the day when Christian Wakeford defected from the Conservatives to Labour, I said there should have been a by-election. I've always said that. You know, Nigel Farage said before there should be a by-election, but now he's changed his tune. This guy, once again, I don't understand why people look at him as authentic. They consider him authentic. He's not authentic. He's a charlatan. He will say what suits him one day and then he'll change his tune the very next. Calling for by-elections when Labour were benefiting from a defection, and then when it benefits Reform UK, no word whatsoever about a by-election. He's refused. I think he was actually asked, and members of Reform were asked about by-elections. He said, oh no, you don't need to. I don't know if it was him or someone within Reform said, well, there was no real change because you're moving from a right-wing party to another right-wing party. But people voted for the candidate within the party. There is this argument against by-elections. Well, you know, you're voting for the MP, you're not voting for the party. No, you're voting for the party and its policies. In many cases, people will vote for the MP, but they should, by right, be voting for the party and the MP in a similar way. They should be voting for the policies and for the MP. If you say, well, you're just voting for the MP, then what's the point in having a political party? Why don't you just have everyone as an independent, and then they form a group when they agree on something? That's the reason why you have a political party, that you have policies that everyone agrees on, and the public vote on those policies. This is why sometimes people will vote for an MP even though they don't like the party, or they'll vote for the party even though they don't like the MP, because they should be, in many cases, voting based on policy and not on personalities. But this guy is a charlatan. He doesn't care about principles. He will change them as often as he changes his socks. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what do you think. I'll see you in the next video.